Oh, clutch fitting fluid, clutch fitting accessory. Onwards. Oh. The water has receded. Right. Spigot bearing. I tried grease, didn't work. I've heard you can use bread. Now this is a malted bloomer. I don't know the... well, is malted best? I've not heard... I didn't read the instructions. I did read the back of the loaf and it didn't say anything about how you can use it to replace the spigot bearing. I checked BBC Good Food as well, and I couldn't see it in there. But so, well, let's see if malted's right. The closest thing I've got to the first motion shaft is a bolt. Shall I explain? Do you get it? Or is you just watching a video of a man force a little malted bloomer into the back of an engine? That says more about you than me. I think that means we need more bread. What we're trying to do is hydraulic the spigot bearing out. I don't know if the word hydraulic applies to bread. Maybe you have to use a white loaf. What the fuck am I doing? The reason this works apparently better than grease is grease is harder to stop it coming out around the edges. How strange. Bread doesn't seem to work. The bread hasn't worked, but the bread is stronger than the cage of the bearings. The bread is also coming out in the shape of the bearing. Well, we definitely have to change it. Oh, this is going well, isn't it? Might have to cut the outer race now.
And it was at this point that things all got a bit desperate, and we spent hours, days, weeks doing battle with the evil spigot bearing.
Right. It's not coming out. I nearly went a bit faulty towers on it then, but no, we've got to save the stupid faulty tower stuff for when it won't start, so let's get the drill. Oh. I have measured it. So the new one is 21mm external diameter. That is currently 18, and the outside, the crankshaft, is 20.5, so 0.5 millimetre interference fit. So we should, the fact, and obviously the crankshaft is extremely hard steel. This is from Toolstation. It's not going to drill a hole in the crankshaft. And that is soft, but also fused now to the crankshaft because it will never come out. So we're going to have to drill it out. I've tried cutting a slit down it. Didn't work. Well, I cut a slit down a bit, it still doesn't move. Then I tried chiseling it just to lift the edge up and then get it out. No, it's definitely it's living there and it doesn't want to go anywhere. So let's get some lube. Yes! 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 Come on! Come on! Come on! Look at you, you horrible little... You might have guessed I'm quite happy. You have no idea how long that has taken. I ended up drilling it and basically it would turn into little bits at the edges and then I just chisel those out carefully. What got it in the end, it's extremely hard metal to drill, but you can break it. And we got to the point where it was sort of thin enough that we could slit it slightly, so you probably won't be able to see it, but there's a little slit there, and then thump it with a chisel and around it came. Oh, I can't see any specific instructions on installing these in particular. So all I'm going to do is make a lot of mess. Right, all I'm going to do is make a lot of mess. No, I'm going to just check that it hasn't got a leading face to it. So some bearings. I don't know whether it's tapered, but I don't think the outside would be particularly tapered anyway. But so no, it's exactly the same both ways around. We've got the most important bit on these is to make sure obviously they go in straight like any other bearing. But it's a very delicate little bearing. So make sure they go in straight. Don't tap directly on the face. I just said it's a very delicate bearing, didn't I? After spending, I don't even want to tell you how long trying to get the stupid thing out. But the metal's very thin, so if you go mental on it, you'll just bend it. To be fair, a piece of wood would probably do a Technic. And then this pushes against the stop on the crankshaft. So there we go. See, easy really. It only takes, I don't know, a week to install a new spigot bearing. Oh, I know what it is. I've run out of clutch assembly fluid, haven't I? So the two mating faces, you don't want anything on, but there is no harm at all in a bit of grease on this section. It will just help for it to go on. The sort of hub, the bit that sticks out, is what I'm saying. Should probably wear gloves. I'm putting the gasket stuff on because that's what was on before, and I can't really find any instructions to say much else. So yes, 65 pound-feet is the torque setting, by the way. which I think is several good diggers. Oh, yeah, we're going to need something to hold the crank. No. Okay, clutch. New bolts. Everything I bought pretty much, unless I say it's from Motorplan, because you get a little discount and they stock everything. So it's either there or Powers I bought everything from. So, just die a second. But lining up clutches. Easy, single plate. Well, I don't know about easy. Easier, single plate. Dual plate, massive pig. Because... Oh. So, lining up a clutch. We talked about it in the Land Rover video, but your first motion shaft from the gearbox goes into there, and it's splined, obviously. Because that bearing doesn't really take any weight, it just supports the end of the shaft. The splines do support a bit, and they're splined onto the clutches. Now, when you've got one set, that's not too bad, because you can put the gearbox in gear, turn the output shaft. Sorry, my phone's ringing. Turn the output shaft, and then you can line those splines up, and you're in. How do you do that with two sets of splines, though? Well, an alignment tool, but I can't get one. So there we are. So I've tried to make one. What I've got is a rod that fits into there that I've just made up to size with some duct tape. Doesn't help with the splines though, does it? So what I've done is I've made a little guide here.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop right there. This didn't work at all. But I'll show you what did.
We've gone selfie mode because the tripod's missing. I've also got my two helpers. Pip's there, just inspecting the gearbox, bell housing. Daisy, how are we doing? There's fireworks, so I have to give them my jumper to sleep on, otherwise they get all angsty. Now, my little metal dealie didn't work at all. But, right, listen, I think I've got a great idea, okay? I'm taking the bell housing off, and I'm actually going to use this alignment tool here. Now, it does look a little bit like the gearbox. I know it's a gearbox. She's saying don't be silly. So we're going to use this. Don't work with animals or children, is that right? I'm going to use that to align it, bolt that to that, take it back off, put the bell housing back on, and then hopefully that'll work. You're not going to help. Go sit on the blanket. Go on. Pooh bum. Thank you. She just wants to be in the limelight. Right. Of course. Yes. No. Need an Allen key. Hey! Stop revolting. I know. You don't look up there, there's fireworks. Now we should be able to withdraw it without too much issue. Right. Now we know the alignment's perfect. Yeah? Yeah, I thought so too. We can screw it all down. I'll put Loctite on the others and then Loctite these two. Okay. Oh, we've got continuity issues again now, haven't we? Right. I'm trying it the manual way, which suggests bell housing first. I think this is correct, having it that way up. I don't know where it was meant to go underneath. Okay, I just looked at one that was mildly on fire, and that looks fine. The other thing I've just thought about is I don't know whether you have to install the crank sensor first before you put it in the car. I don't know. I'm sure we'll soon see. We'll do all those up, but in truth, seriously, take that off, use that to line your clutch up, and if I did all that in one go, that would have taken half an hour. So, yeah, easy. I'll button all those up. I'll come back to you. Right, starter motor. I've just tested this, hence why there's a battery on charge. But we have a problem. That's the stud, not the terminal that's loose. So we're just going to see if we can breathe some more life into it, rather than just buying a new one. But that's not what I want to do first. Oh, this might seem quite alien to some. It's all going on out there, isn't it? Because usually you just replace starter motors, don't you? But you know, you don't have to. Certainly with older gear, used to fix them. It's quite rare the motor dies. A lot of the times it might be the solenoid that passes away, or there are some brushes in there inside that cap. This does have these undone, which is interesting, isn't it? But basically the function of this little blob on top is to... that shoots the pinion out. So there's your pinion. Like that. Shoots it out. Once it's out, it makes contact in there and sends power to the starter motor. But I wasn't getting any movement in the pinion. So we're going to see why that might be. All they are really is like a little electromagnet. I don't think... Okay, we might not have much luck here. Let's try and undo that one. So 8, yes. Try and do this one, see if we can take this apart or not. Because I think that has probably come disconnected from inside it, and that's all that's wrong. Sorry, that was probably some expert camera work, wasn't it? So it might, if you look, get that stupid thing off, it looks like it might just be soldered onto the wires there, and they pass through into there, create a magnetic field, which pushes that out. If you've ever wondered why projects take so long, here's a case in point. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Okay, so essentially we had a bad connection on the starter because the stud on the solenoid that holds the trigger cable from your key on was loose, but we've just been able to nip it up, so that should be our problem solved.
A bouncy bit. Okay. I imagine this is off a Vauxhall. It's probably about £5 to buy a new one, but the new ones will just be shit. So, not to say that this is not shit as well. But put on Biggles goggles. Don't like batteries. And connect. Oh, they are really horrible jump leads. Okay. Then let's have. So that's a good sign. So what I've done there is basically connect power straight to that, and that goes alright, which is good. The bit that we want to work now, though, nice. So, we were making a bad connection. Right, are you looking? Tally-ho. So as you were seeing there, when you energise the solenoid that we've now got a good connection to, it throws the pinion out. When the pinion gets all the way, it makes contact, then spins it. Right, we've just taken the oil filter off. And interestingly, I mean, it's immaculate, I might cut it open, but I mean, it's run, but hardly. That's brand new oil in there. Look how clean that is. The plot thickens. Anyway, we got our new UFO. Filter please. Identified filtering object. I'll put it on loosely, and then you can't really pre-fill it, but let me see, it's about the same size. Filter protrudes a bit more, but it's from Racetech, so I mean it's going to be right, isn't it? You can't really pre-fill it because it's upside down, but I might just pour in that and let the I might just make loads of mess. I'm just going to let that soak into the filter media. You can't see it, but you'd be amazed how much it will drink. So I need more hands. I can't make so much mess. So yes, you can't pre-fill a filter that points the other way up than this. But if you pour some in, the actual paper filter material inside will absorb it. And it will mean you get oil pressure quicker. So we'll let that... Need more gloves. We'll let that pre-soak. Plonk that on. And that's another bit done. I'm doing little bits today because it's sort of like Friday evening and I want to go have a beer. This is the celebration one, by the way. So we've got to have dinner and we've got to watch Tasty Classics because it's Friday night. I've been doing things without turning on the camera and watching the bearded mechanic. This looks alright, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, you can't fall over, and that's the bit I'm worried about. Ooh. Incidentally, that tyre's a 1960s original Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow 2 Dunlop Sport. Dunlop, what was it? Formula 70. Yep. That is actually in the manual as well, by the way. If you're supporting your Speed 6 on a tyre, you should be using a 1970s Dunlop Sport Formula 70. It's not as precarious in real life, don't worry. It's a very tight fit. We're learning together. That's what life's all about. Do you ever just stand to one side and ponder life's great mysteries? We want the crane there in case we need to. The plan is to lower it down, and then if I need to, this height, I can get the crane over the top. You say over there, it's safer. You recording? Yes.
Because the crane's holding it up at one side, that's why it's still at a funny angle.
Well, that is roughly because it's slanted in the engine bay.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it clears the bonnet line.
Just be careful. It dropped.
Dropped.
It sort of almost leveled itself out. That makes sense. It went.
Oh, possibly, yeah. Okay.
Just
right.
be careful because I think the exhaust is now against this bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably right. There's a door.
Okay. Do I need to hold that? Would that help? Or do you
Either that, or no, actually, it's alright. Right, just continue watching, and I can watch the gear stick.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're pretty good, to be honest.
So how's that piece of casting over there? Because that was the other pinch point.
The only thing you still need to be careful is the lower bit of that exhaust is close. Nothing over here looks that close.
Okay, cool.
You just need only right at the bottom, but that's not even got to it yet. So.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, absolutely fine this side. Yeah. Just stop for a second.
To be honest, it's not really too bad an engine to install once you know
Yeah.
where.
You're right up against it there. but it's actually okay. There is like the smallest gap of clearance.
Oh right, that's fine.
So actually fine.
No! Where are you going?
Yeah, I'm about to say, be careful, you have that in the way.
I bet this looks so professional on camera.
Yeah, probably.
Hello, internet. That's all going quite well. Yeah, I think generally it's really not a hard engine to install if you have a crane and a two-post ramp and an axle stand. So take this engine mount off, leave that one on, put your exhaust on, start the motor off. So as you see the engine here, you don't want the inlet on, I don't think. You never get through the start. It's easy to do the starter. As you sort of saw, get the engine right. Oh yeah. Yeah, so you get the engine so far, and you'll see there's a couple of pinch points. So here, the upper sort of rung of the exhaust manifold, and the bell housing starter mount. When you get to that point, crane and lift yourself up like that. When you get to that point, you can then drop the body down. And at that point you sort of get these points clear, lift it up ever so slightly, you'll clear there. Once you're at that point, lift the tail of the gearbox up. And really, I mean that's it. Yeah, well, I didn't think it was too bad after that. And just pop the gearbox mount on. I think I might have said a couple of times on there, I wish to put the gearbox mount on first. You can't do that. Anyone who's seen the gearbox mount will say, you're not paying attention, boy. Like with this, because you need to use a Allen key. Because the gearbox mount bolts to the gearbox, like that. And then it's got a wing there and a wing here. And there's two rubber mounts, and for exactly that shape is the reason why you need to have a larger Allen key, which is why you need to do it afterwards. But first steps, I know not everyone's got a ramp, but I do, I'm sorry, so yeah, part with that. But yeah, if you have a ramp, easy really. If I had to do it again, which we might, if we can't get any life out of the head. Would it be a problem? Not really. I know how to do it now. Not too bad. So I'm going to bolt those up, lose the crane, sit it back in the car, and that'll be it for now. So, after much faffery, thank you very much. Sorry about the delay in videos. Yeah, cool. Thank you.